Hi, my name is Steve Brescia, and I'm the Manager of Enterprise Architecture here at American Water. And today I'll be sharing with you our Unified Communications and Collaboration Strategy. Before I get deeper into that UCC strategy, I just want to give you some information about American Water. We're the largest publicly traded U.S. water and wastewater utility company. We have approximately 7,000 employees spread across the U.S. and in parts of Canada. And our growth strategy is through the acquisition of water and wastewater systems. I'll talk a little bit about why UC and collaboration is really a top priority of ours. Number one, eliminating the wasteful duplication of efforts. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. There are good ideas that are going on all around the company, and we want to be able to identify those and build a robust knowledge base so that we can house those in a place that's accessible by the entire organization. We want to be able to drive efficiencies through the interactions across groups. So not only just across geographies, but across groups within states or within lines of business. And then third, we want to be able to provide effective and cost-efficient solutions to our customers, that not only benefit our customers, but also benefit American Water. And that's always with an eye on, our capital and operating expenses. Next, I want to talk about our collaboration challenges. So we looked across American Water and we said, our structure, the way that we work, our culture, what are our collaboration challenges? So the first one there, it really talks about a common user interface. And we have a lot of collaboration tools, but we don't have a lot of integration necessarily between them. So our users are always flipping back and forth when they're interacting between whether it's a Cisco WebEx or it's SharePoint or it's our email system. There are a lot of tools there and that are great tools, but not necessarily in an integrated way. We looked around and said, wow, we have a lot of information in a lot of different places, and how do we get that into being useful for the organization? So trying to consolidate those 1,000+ databases of information and put those in a place that are easily accessible, and of course eliminating any ones that are duplicate is something that is a challenge for us. The next one talks about our email and our challenge around documents, and really this is around multiple versions of documents and multiple saves and having documents scattered in different file shares or on hard drives. And the users struggle with that because when they're collaborating with one another, they may not know what the latest version of documentation is. We also have many directories. So finding people can be difficult in that environment because there are many sources of information. And also, for the most part, at least in the collaboration and unified communications arena, we're not really providing mobility and remote access in the best way to really drive performance out there. So after we took a look at what our challenges are, we started saying, okay, well, we need a strategy to come up with how do we deal with these things. And this spider diagram really it was the beginning of our strategy, and which led to some proofs of concepts and some studies that we did. So jumping off from that spider diagram, we started a proof of concept that was really around how do we get the user experience to be a unified and an integrated user experience. And as we call that our UCC single pane of glass. So we wanted to create that one window, that single context, that one place where a user could go and have a multitude of communication tools, whether that be email and calendaring or conferencing or UC tools, all within the same user interface. And we believe this saves time because it eliminates that distraction of going back and forth and flipping back and forth through applications. But really, we're a email-heavy culture or email-based work culture. So we said, well, that's a logical place for us to really build out this UCC single pane of glass. And really that speaks to the last bullet point there on this slide, is get every business user on board. We don't want to change work habits so much in the fact that we're using radically different tools or introducing something totally new. These tools are out there that we're introducing into this single pane of glass. They're being used. We're just trying to make an integrated interface that'll make it more streamlined and easier for them. We have a lot of confidential information, whether that be customer information or information about the company itself, and we want to make sure that we're preserving that confidentiality through the way that we provide access or permission, so through that access management. So we talked a little bit about the increased adoption of collaboration tools, and we want to support our rollout of SharePoint. So we believe that the single pane of glass really helps us to adopt SharePoint, because if we can link it to email, then it's an everyday thing for our users. Email, SharePoint will go together. We do want to get mobile access, out there to the field for our document libraries and our information. That's not something that we are currently doing, but that's definitely one of the business goals. And we want to be able to increase our accountability and consistency. So again, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to provide the same answers to similar questions that we get asked. We want to be able to provide a consistent view to our users out there. And finally, we can't forget about the financial pieces. So in the studying that we did prior to the project, we said, how do we go about this? Do we really want to live in a multiple vendor environment? Do we want to live in a single vendor environment? And we did a deep study on what was the best path for us. And really the best path for us ended up being leveraging our multi-vendor environment. And in fact, when we compared the multi-vendor environment to the single vendor environment, we said we can avoid a $3 million capital outlay just by leveraging the tools that we have in place today. We really wanted to get the user experience to be that single pane of glass. Harmony really drives that for us. It's really a UCC enabler. It helps us to do a lot of the things that are listed here on this slide. This is actually a picture of a part of my desktop and how Harmony is really helping our users. We're able to share document links within email. We don't have to take full documents and send them back and forth. We're able to send document links with the use of Harmony and SharePoint. We're able to share those project emails together with attachments if we want to. We're able to track documents, and we're able to connect directly through unified communications to a writer or an editor. We're able to use our metadata and tagging to quickly search through documents, and also, and I see this as something we'll be doing in the future, is really rate documents. The next one is around communities, really learning about colleagues, about PeopleSearch or My Sites. And although we're not doing this now, we see this as a really wonderful tool for us to reach out to the rest of the organization for people that may have knowledge that we're looking for, experience in something that we've done before. The last bullet point there is really on calendars. So being able to understand what my calendar is, whether that's my email calendar or it's my personal calendar that's out on the internet, or it's a SharePoint calendar, being able to bring that all into one place, but not only just for me, but for my whole project team or the team that I manage. That's something that our users have been thrilled about with this implementation. We talk about some representative use cases here. So we're asked to, in acquiring those water and wastewater systems, we're in the business of responding to RFPs or building ones in other cases in the company. So our single pane of glass and our UC strategy really helps us now, but I think it'll help us a lot more in the future to be able to respond to these RFPs in a consistent, efficient way. We're gathering information from across many parts of the organization in some cases, or many parts of a state in some cases, and to gather all that information off of hard drives or shared drives isn't as efficient as getting it into SharePoint and having a single source. The next one really talks about our capital projects and the way we manage them here in ITS. We have a single place through the SharePoint workflow engine to initiate, approve, and monitor our capital projects. It makes it a lot easier than just trying to follow emails around or printed pieces of paper. We actually use the engine and the email connectivity to do those initiating, approving, and monitoring capital projects. Something that we have done as a proof of concept is trying to extend this single pane of glass desktop view out to our mobile devices. We haven't made this out in production, but we do see this as being extremely important for us as we become more mobile or more remote. Our guiding principle on this is that anything that I can get on my desktop, I should be able to get on a mobile device, anywhere, anytime, anyhow that I want to do that. Whether that's a map of our water distribution system in a certain area, or a tap card as far as how a certain customer is connected to our main system. Having access to that out in the field in a quick and consistent form is very important when we're implementing meters or making changes or we're troubleshooting problems or what have you. So we're working towards being able to do that better to be able to provide the best service to our customers. And just to summarize, in one of the surveys that we did, there was heavy support for a single pane of glass. That single pane of glass is really the direction that we want to go in. Harmony really drives that for us. The employees now that have it and are working with it are extremely pleased, and I think that's just going to continue over time.